What's up, YouTube? Thomas L here. Since John Travolta has a film on DVD and Blu-ray out now called Trading Paint, and since he has a new movie out Friday called The Poison Rose, I decided to do my top 10 favorite John Travolta movies. Because, lately he hasn't really been the best, but, from the 70s to 80s to 90s, and even parts of the 2000s, he's been some pretty amazing stuff over the years, so with that being said, here's my 10 favorite Travolta movies. Coming in at number 10 is the film Urban Cowboy. Now, in this film, John Travolta plays a cowboy named Bud Davis who starts hanging around a bar called Gillies, where he falls in love with Sissy, named played by Deborah Winger, who's a cowboy who believes the sexes are equal. So, they eventually marry, but their relationship ends up turbulent due to Bud's traditional view of gender roles. So, jealousy over his rival, Wes, played by Scott Glenn, leads to their separation. But, Bud attempts to win Sissy back by triumphing at Gilly's mechanical bull riding competition and all. This movie is like a country. This is a country music lover. There's lots of country music in this. John Travolta plays a cowboy, so if you guys like cowboys, there you go. Deborah Winger was really good looking in this. Deborah Winger, she was awesome back in the days. Whether it's this or Officer and a Gentleman, Deborah Winger is always the best. So she was really great. I liked her chemistry with John Travolta. John Travolta looked pretty cool as a cowboy. This was, of course, one of his earliest roles, and he was really great in this. It's a really nice romance film. It's a nice cowboy film. There's, some Western stuff in this, but it's really good. If you guys never seen Urban Cowboy, it's an interesting John Travolta movie worth checking out. Coming in at number 9 is Primary Color. Now, in this, John Travolta plays a guy named Jack Stanton who is running for president. And so, the election is seen through the eyes of a young Henry Byrne. And, along the way, Stanton must deal with a very sexual sex scandal. And Henry Byrne, by the way, is played by actor Adrian Lesser. And the cast in this also includes Billy Bob Thornton, Emma Thompson is in this. This movie is this film came out around the same time that Bill Clinton had his sex scandal. And I used to always thought that this movie was actually based on Bill Clinton, but it technically is, but of course John Travolta is not playing Bill Clinton or anything. He's playing a character similar to Bill Clinton. And it's an interesting political film. John Travolta was terrific. Emma Thompson was great. I liked Billy Bob Thornton in this. You also had Kathy Bates in this. Some really good cast members. The whole film is a political atmosphere, of course, but it's really decent, and it shows when you're running for president, try not to have any scandals surrounding you, because that will happen eventually. All right, coming in at number 8 is Wild Hogs. This movie is hysterical. It's kind of like a comedy version of the classic movie Easy Rider. And in it, John Travolta stars alongside Tim Allen, Martin Lawrence, as well as William H. Macy. And in it, they all play 4 middle-aged men who decide to take a road trip from Cincinnati to the Pacific in order to get away from their lives, which are pretty much leading them nowhere. So they're kind of trying to get away from their life outside of this. So, they end up taking their motorcycles, and they're, of course, called Wild Hogs, and they end up hitting the road, and eventually stop in New Mexico for a drink, and, but the bar ends up belonging to Del Fugos, who's a mean biker gang played by Ray Liotta, and so, Del, plans to, steal a bike that belongs to the Wild Hogs, so, they have the 4 men plan to get their bikes back and all. This movie is a hysterical film. It was directed by Walt Becker, who also did Van Wilder, and he did the last Alvin and Chipmunks movie. This movie was pretty, like, I really liked the chemistry between the lead actors in this. John Travolta, like, he could do comedy really well, and he was terrific in this. William H. Macy was good, Tim Allen was funny, Ray Liotta, I mean, I keep forgetting how funny Ray Liotta could be. You also had Marissa Tomei in this. Yeah, some other good cast members. I can't remember all of them, to Like, you also had, Kevin Durant was in this. John C. McGlinchey, some really great cast members. Shayna Arnold was in this. And I remember hearing words that they were supposed to do a sequel to this, but it got canceled, which I'm still a little disappointed that we never got to see a sequel to Wild Hogs. But I will love to have seen another one. Alright, coming in at number 7 is Get Shorty. Now, in Get Shorty, John Travolta plays a character, Chili Palmer, who is a Miami mobster who gets sent by his boss, who's the psychopath, psycho named Bones Barboni, played by Dennis Farina. So, to collect a bad debt from Henry Zim, played by Gene Hackman, a Hollywood producer who specialized in cheesy horror films. When Chili meets Harry's leading lady named played by Renee Russo, the romance sparks fly between the two, and Chili learns that being a monster and being a Hollywood producer aren't all that different. So he wants to try, leave the monster behind and work into the Hollywood show business and all. This was pretty funny. I mean, it's also based on a book, not to mention. And they also did they also have a TV show of Get Shorty, which is on Epix, which I've seen episodes here and there. It's an okay show. And the cast of this is really incredible. The cast also includes Danny DeVille's also in this. James Gandolfini, some really good cast members. It was directed by Barry Sonnenfeld. He did a great job at directing. Really funny film. I mean, this isn't one of the best mob films or anything, but it's still pretty decent. And John Travolta as Chili Palmer was really amazing. Alright, coming in at number 6 is Look Who's Talking. Now, the film is, I could say, like a romantic comedy, and it's about the ups and downs of a accountant named Molly Jensen, played by Chrissy Alley, who ends up, of course, becoming pregnant and having a newborn by a pilot, no, not pilot, a taxi driver played by John Travolta, and of course the baby ends up coming out, and they had to try to, and both John Travolta and Chrissy Alley's character, had to try to find a way to, work their stuff out and stuff. And by the way, the baby in this is voiced incredibly by Bruce Willis, and Bruce Willis voicing the baby Mikey is just hysterical. The whole movie, of course, takes place in New York City, so obviously, Bruce Willis is gonna sound like the baby's obviously gonna sound like Bruce Willis, who's a fellow New Yorker. So anyway, yeah, this movie is really hysterical. They also did had 2 sequels, which I really dug the sequels. I know lots of people poo-poo and trash on the Look Who's Talking sequels, but I kind of appreciate them. But the first Look Who's Talking is the best. I mean, a film about a talking baby. Who knew that a live action movie about a talking baby could work really well, and it worked pretty well here. I mean, of course, now the famous talking baby we know now is Stewie from Family Guy, but before Family Guy was thought of, Mikey was the original talking baby. Anyway, yeah, if you guys still never seen any of the Look Who's Talking films, check them out. I mean, I also like the chemistry between both John Travolta and Chrissy Alley. They were both pretty good together. So, and not to mention, in the second Look Who's Talking, there was Mikey ends up having a baby sister who ended up being voiced by Roseanne. Then the third one featured dogs in it that was voiced by both Diane Keaton and Danny DeVito. So it. Too bad they never really went ahead and did another one, because I would love to have seen another Lucas talking, because these films are really funny. Alright, coming in at number 5 is Face Off, directed by the great John Woo. I mean, here you've got Nicolas Cage, who ends up becoming John Travolta, and John Travolta, who ends up becoming Nicolas Cage. I mean, that's a cool premise on its own part. And it's pretty much a fun 90s set action movie. It's really awesome. John Woo did a great job at directing. Like, this is probably one of my favorite action movies of the 90s. Wait, one of these days I should do a top 10 list of my favorite 90s action movies. Because Face Off is definitely one of the best. It's just really loads of fun. I mean, in it, Nick Cage plays like a man who's pretty much like obsessed with being a terrorist, and his character name is Castor Troy. So like you've got FBI agent named Sean Archer, played by John Travolta, who wants to like track him down. So like he ended up boarding a plane in Los Angeles. So like after the plane crashes, Troy is like severely injured and possibly dead. So Archer undergoes surgery to remove his face and replace it with Troy's face. So like as Archer tries to use his disguise to elect information about from Troy's brother, Troy ends up awaking from a coma and forces the doctor who performed the surgery to give him Archer's face. So yeah, this is like John Travolta actually had to become Nick Cage in this, and Nick Cage had to become John Travolta, which I thought was pretty cool to watch. And John Woo did a cool job at directing. I mean, John Woo is an awesome director, and he really nailed it with this film. And Face Off actually got released in 1997, and to me it's probably one of the better action movies of that era. It also had other good cast members like Jenny Gershon was in this, Joan Allen was in this. Some pretty cool cast members were featured. Really cool action film, man. Too bad we never really got around to see a sequel, because I would love to have seen another Face Off, but the first Face Off's still the best. Alright, coming in at number 4 is pretty much an obvious one. My number 4 favorite is Saturday Night Fever. I mean, come on, you can't have a John Travolta list and not think of Saturday Night Fever. Now, most people will probably add this as probably a number 2 favorite, a number 1 favorite, but I'm actually going to add it at my number 4 favorite, because my 3, 2, and 1 I constantly enjoy more than Saturday Night Fever. But I mean, come on, this has the classic disco dancing scene, the classic songs by the Bee Gees. I mean, who did not remember the classic scene where John Travolta is walking down and the Bee Gees song is singing up there? Just an iconic moment. I mean, of course, they also did a sequel years ago, which was not all that good. But the first Saturday Night Fever is just the best. I mean, they don't make disco movies like this anymore. Yet again, I don't know if discos aren't even around anymore, but still. Anyway. Yeah, Saturday Night Fever is just a classic. Like, the movie got released in the 70s, which I believe it got released either before or after Grease. I gotta double check that, but the movie still holds up today, and yeah, this is definitely one of Travolta's best work of back in the days. And if you guys like never seen Saturday Night Fever by now, it's another John Travolta movie worth giving a watch. Alright, coming in at number 3 is Hairspray. I mean, John Travolta as Edna Turnblad. I mean, how awesome was it to see John Travolta dressing in drags? I mean, John Travolta as a woman was just perfect casting. And, like, believe it or not, this was John Travolta's first musical film since Grease, and John Travolta still had it as a woman. And you got Nikki Blonsky, who played the role of Tracy Turnblad. You had Christopher Walken, who played John Travolta's husband in this. Yeah, I mean, I never thought that John Travolta and Christopher Walken could ever make a good couple, but they were pretty good together in this. And I really like the duet between both John Travolta and Christopher Walken. Their duets is pretty good. This is actually one of my favorite musicals of the last couple of years. This movie's gonna go down as a musical classic. It's just amazing. It has a really memorable songs. I mean, I still own the soundtrack, believe it or not. It's just amazing. I mean, I remember watching this about 4 times in theaters back in 2007, and I just love it. Like, the besides Blonsky and Walken, the cast also includes the likes of Amanda Bynes, Zac Efron was in this, James Marsden was great. I mean, it was directed by Alan Shankman, who did a great job at directing. This is also one of the rare remakes that's actually better than the original, to be honest with you. And I mean, there's been other actors who have played Edna Chamberlain before, like Divine played the role, as well as Harvey Fierstein. But I'm saying now, the best one who played Edna is definitely John Travolta. Just perfect casting, and kind of like Wild Hogs. I remember they were supposed to do like a sequel to Hairspray like years ago, but I guess it got shut down or whatever. So, yes, shame we never got you to see a sequel, because I would love to have seen John Travolta back as Edna again. That would have been cool to see. But hey, I'm perfectly happy with the first Hairspray. All right, my number 2 favorite John Travolta movie is Pulp Fiction. Now, I was like on the verge of adding this either as my number 1 favorite or number 2 favorite, but I'm actually going to add it as my number 2 favorite. Pulp Fiction is just the best. I mean, Quentin Tarantino's first feature film. You've got John Travolta teaming up with Sam Jackson in this. Ving Rhames was in this. You also had Bruce Willis, Harvey Keitel, Ving Rhames. Really terrific cast members. I mean, Uma Thurman was also in this. You also had that iconic dance moment between both Travolta and Thurman, which is one of the most iconic dance moments in the 90s. Yeah, Pulp Fiction also has lots of memorable lines in it, most of which is said by Sam Jackson's character. And I really like both John Travolta and Sam Jackson working together. I mean, John Travolta's character is named Vincent Vega, while Sam Jackson's character is named Jules Winfield. And I really love their interactions together. And they're probably one of my favorite team-ups of the 90s as well. Pulp Fiction is just the best. To me, it's also Quentin Tarantino's best work. It has some really cool lines, some cool actions in this. Definitely one of it's definitely a really good one. Alright. Now, what's better than Pulp Fiction? What's better than Saturday Night Fever or Hairspray and whatever? My number 1 favorite John Travolta movie of all time is an obvious one. That is Grease. It's pretty much one of the movies that like really put John Travolta on the map. I mean, it has like Hairspray. This movie had lots of memorable classic music moments. I mean, Summer Love in is a classic, and I really like the chemistry between both John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. They both worked really well in this. I mean, there's also like talks about a sequel, like I think a sequel or whatever coming, but no matter what, like you could do a remake, you could do a sequel, but no other Grease adaptation could ever beat the original. It's just an iconic one. I mean, it had some really great music moments. I mean, John Travolta as Danny's just perfect. Olivia Newton-John was amazing in this as Sandy. Such a really fantastic film, man. Yeah, it's also probably one of my favorite musicals as well. It's that great a film. Like, if you guys still never seen Grease, and let's be for real, who's still never seen Grease? Check it out. I think you'll enjoy it, because it's a really good one, and it's a 70s musical classic. I mean, definitely give Grease a go if you guys haven't seen it. It's the best. Now, that is definitely Travolta's best work ever. Like, seriously. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me do the quick rundown. Number 10, Urban Cowboy. 9, Primary Colors. 8, Wild Hogs. 7, Get Shorty. 6, Look Who's Talking. 5, Face Off. 4. Saturday Night Fever. 3. Hairspray. 2. Pulp Fiction. 1. Grease. Now, John Travolta has been in, like, loads of other stuff over the years. Let me pull up his credit list. He was, of course, in Battlefield Earth, which is arguably one of the worst motion pictures I have ever seen. Oh, God, Battlefield Earth is so bad. To change subjects, this film reviewer I know named John Campia, he was talking about how one time he was like, he went to see Battlefield Earth in theaters, and like, once the movie ended and all, like lots of people in the theater, just stood there until the movie ended. Then once the credits ended and all that, like the people in the theaters was like, "What the hell was that?" I mean, I would love to have been in that theater when that happened. I never really seen Battlefield Earth in theaters, to be honest with you, but I have seen it on TV, and it's one of the worst John Travolta movies ever. Like, whew. Anyway, other stuff that John Travolta has been in, he was in Gotti, which, Gotti wasn't all that great, but he was actually not that bad in it, to be honest with you. So, and the best part about me seeing Gotti in theaters was that I got free popcorn because, I saw that movie on my birthday, so. Anyway, other stuff that John Travolta was in, Staying Alive, which is a terrible Saturday Night Fever sequel. He was in The Punisher, which I thought the Punisher movie was alright. Let's see. Phenomenon, he was in. Swordfish, he was great in. Did Not Care for From Paris with Love. He was in the movie Michael, which wasn't all that good. He was in the movie Perfect, which was not that good either. He was in Carrie, which I always keep forgetting about him in Carrie. He was in Be Cool, which is a sequel to Get Shorty. His first feature film was The Boy in the Plastic Bubble, which I always keep forgetting that was his first feature, but anyway. Blowout he was in, Ladder 49, Broken Arrow. He was in that movie Old Dogs with Robert Williams. That movie was not good. He was in I Am Wrath. He was really great as a villain in Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3. He was in probably one of my favorite Disney movies in the last couple of years, Boat, where he lent his voice opposite Miley Cyrus. But Miley Cyrus and John Travolta did like a music duet for the film, which I thought that was a really cool duet. He's had been some really terrible recent stuff. Like I have not seen Train Paint, so I can't really comment on that. I have seen Life on the Line, not good. He was in Savages, which I thought was okay. Killing Season was alright, where he paired with Robert De Niro. Interesting casting. Yeah, he's been in some good stuff and some not so good stuff, but hey, that's every actor, Let me leave you guys. What are some of your favorite John Travolta movies? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This series, Thomas L. signing off.